Thank you, Maru.
First of all, what's this constitutional provision that you are referring to?
Yeah, you know that at unitary state, we whatever we do should try and bring all of us together as one people. So, if you have observed it over the years, cabinet appointment, ministers' appointment reflect the various regions that we have in the country. And therefore, under the Constitution, it's stated clearly that presidents, even though they have the power to appoint, they should consider regional balance. Regional balance. And for that matter, since President Lawrence term, President Akufo-Addo's term, Mo's term, Muhammad's term, every president has tried the best to ensure that after composition of the ministers, it will reflect a representation from all the regions. Now, we have 16 regions in the country. If you read through the existing ministers and the new ones, and then the deputy ministers, there is none from the Western North region. We had only one minister, even though we were not happy, but we console ourselves with Dr. Akufo-Addo as Minister for Environment and Science. Yesterday, he was sacked by the president. So, as a region, we were expecting that he will replace Dr. Akufo-Addo. But that didn't happen. So, as we speak, there is nobody representing Western North in cabinet, nor even the deputy ministers. There's nobody. Don't forget that there are 9 districts in the Western North region. And so it is strange to us that the president will not consider anybody from the region to be part of his government. And so we are not happy. The chiefs, the people of the region are not happy at all. And they are struggling to understand why the president will do this to the whole region. Because there are some regions who have 7 ministers, 6 ministers, 8 ministers. And it is strange that there are other regions too without even a deputy minister. And so we want to believe that this is an oversight, and we are calling on the president to rectify the anomaly, to do the right thing by making sure that the cabinet that he is constituting will reflect all the regions so that it will be fair to all of us. Because we also from the Western North region contribute immensely to the development of this country.
I see. So Jojo Rocky, or being a minister does not satisfy this requirement, you think? He's your Western region. Is your Western North minister?
He's a regional minister. There are 16 regional ministers. Jojo Oben is a regional minister because he's from the Western North region. And at Greater Accra, they have regional minister. Eastern, they have regional minister. Ashanti, they have regional minister. We are talking about sectorial ministers, cabinet ministers. The regional minister is not a cabinet position. And so, if every region has a minister, and for that matter, we think that you cannot compensate Western North region with a regional minister's position. Because as I've said, every region has a regional minister. But we are talking about finance, education, agri, environment, tourism, just name them. This is what we are talking about. At the national level, There's nobody from Western North region to represent the current government, and which is unacceptable.
Honourable Member of Parliament, you are from a party that has been criticizing the president for having an elephant-sized government. He's trying to reduce the size of government. You then turn around again and say he hasn't appointed enough. Can you really be satisfied?
The fact that you are trying to reduce the size of government does not mean that you should stop change a particular region or a particular group of people. Even if the ministers are 16, each region should have one. So you cannot appoint 5 to a particular region at the expense of other regions. Here we are calling on the government, the president, to reduce the size of his government. But he should do that fairly. He should do that to respect all the regions in the country. So you cannot say that because you want to reduce the size of your government, which that is not what the president has even done, because he has just either replaced or appointed a new person. So the same number stands. And so the president has not reduced the size of government. But as I've said earlier, you cannot reduce the size of government and shortchange other group of people like he has done to we the people in the Western North region.
How can you have this cured? Is there any step that you can take to have it cured then? If you think there's a constitutional breach, what can be done?
I think, as I said earlier, it's an oversight. And we will write officially to the president to draw his attention to this huge omission on his part so that he will do the right thing. Even, I'm not sure when he hears or he gets the letter that will send to him, he will sit on it, because I'm sure when he realizes that he hasn't done justice to we the people in the Western North region, he will rectify the situation, because he will not be comfortable, he will not be happy that he has neglected a section of Ghanaians who equally contribute immensely to the economic well-being of our country. We are just asking him that he should be fair to we the people in the Western North region by making sure that we have a representation at the cabinet level and some deputy ministers, so that all of us can support him to manage the country.
Just on a lighter side, though, could it be that you haven't given the president enough MPs from Western North? That's why he has neglected you. Have you considered that?
That is not a point. When NDC was in government, Ashanti region didn't give us enough MPs, but we equally consider them. You remember Otiaje was even the Minister for Energy. You understand? And other deputy ministers from Ashanti region. So irrespective of whether or not the region votes for you or not, that is not what you have to do. The Constitution enjoins you to make sure that in appointing people into government, you do it to reflect the regional balance, to reflect all the groups that we have in the country. So I'm not sure that's what the president is telling us. And there are now districts that have 3 MPs at the moment. And that is about 30%. So that cannot be a justification.
Very well. Finally, you were at the Ministry of Works and Housing as a deputy. You have seen the shake-up. It has affected that ministry. You have been a key or chief spokesperson for the NDC side in Parliament on works and housing matters. What do you make of the removal of Asensu Boachi from the ministry to be replaced with Honorable Kojo Nkrumah? Any prospects, any positive? Are you excited? What's your feeling like?
No, I think that as we have said already, these changes done by the president is not going to achieve any meaningful results. It's not going to advance our governance or to ensure that it adds meaningful results because it is late in the day. I mean, the government has collapsed already, and appointing new ministers or reshuffling ministers into ministry to assume office within maybe around March ending. March ending means that we have less than about 9 months into the next election. And normally when a minister assumes office, it takes 3 or 4 months to acquaint himself or her or herself to the nitty-gritty of that particular ministry. And so before even these ministers that have been appointed or reshuffled into various ministries will be, found your feet on the ground, we are already into the general election. And so this is not going to add anything to the development in the various regions. Don't forget that the budget for 2024 has started running. It has been approved already. Policies in 2024 have been captured already in the budget. The implementation has actually started. And so ministers are not going to introduce or come out with new modalities, new programs, new activities. You're only just going there to implement it. And implementing the budget depends on availability of resources. And we know that last year in 2023, some ministries didn't even get 25% of what was allocated to them. And so it's just as has been described by a lot of people, it's just to meet a political demand, just to equip a lot of the MPs, parliamentary candidates, so that they can win their seats and also support MPP's presidential candidates to maybe take advantage of the election which is coming. But I don't think that changing Susubuache and bringing Kojo Ponkroma, now we are going to start seeing houses being sprung up in the country, or our gutters are going to be distorted, or nothing is going to happen actually.
But is there anything you would advise him to do and anything you would advise him not to do, since you have fair knowledge of that ministry? What should be his priority?
I know when Asensu came, he assured that Taglame housing was top on his table, and I was going to do whatever he could to ensure that Taglame was completed and allocated to Kenyans. He didn't even clear the weeds around Taglame. So I would urge Kojo Ponkroma to focus on how government will complete those houses at Taglame so that the Ghanaians can benefit. And also, if you could remember, when Atachia also assumed office, he made mention of government requiring about $700 million to do drainage in Accra. Now, the rains are not setting. That's why we are not trying. And so he should focus on making sure that all gutters in Accra, particularly, are distorted, so that anytime it rains, there can be a free flow of water into the sea or run through the gutters. And also to make sure that the drainage system from the problem rate area into the low-lying areas will be constructed. But these are all capital intensive. And also, if you go to the coastal areas, there are lots of erosion that as a result of not able to do sea defense. We are not protecting the sea against the land. And for that matter, even we are losing some communities. And so we should also focus on sea defense activities along the coast so that we can protect life and property. But as I said, these are just few advice, but I don't expect that he's going to do much because it is too late in the day.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
You're welcome.
That's Member of Parliament